anniversary. I'm like, nowhere. I'm going to a conference the next week. And then if you've never been, it is. And I won't say I am the picture postcard of a Main Street director, but if you can imagine being at a conference with 2,000 people that are as excited about downtowns and historic buildings as me, and a bunch of people that are trying to teach them about it, it's pretty well. And a lot of the ideas and projects we've done in there.
So if funding is available, you'll request the 57 this year.
Yes, but the 3,000 would be in a separate line, and we need it in one check in January. We don't need it till January, and I would hate for it to. I'll put my annual, we were trying to stay level this year, and then Mary goes, don't forget, we're having a conference. So if we don't get it from the city, I'm on the risk. We can do that. Well, if y'all have any other questions, we may go. I will let y'all move.
Go back to your little cubby hole. Leave it all over there.
No, my husband came and got, I have an assistant in the office. I have that 8.5-month-old puppy that comes to work, and Penelope adopted a dog today from the shelter. She
Yeah, she said.
she was home getting it all ready.
Yeah, saying that the other day, she was close.
Yep. She did. Thank you so much. As always, I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
Killed them before. Or long hair booty. Beauty shops out. The beautiful dog house. It was the restaurant you go to the second. And the guy, the last person you know, we was Coat. Miles Coat had a shop over where the last building next to Darby. And when Billy bought that one, he bought both of them. That was in the package. Oh, okay. But Miles Coat was over here. Now, I don't know at what point in time he wanted to get, he had all the parts down there. And then when he probably did, he was a contractor, as soon as he did, mix. But that's who did it when I did it from. I looked at it, it was a lot, not to do it. And the problem with for a retail things, that won't be an issue with them, parking. And then when them other places are busy, that those beauty shops are going, people won't park across the street, they're gonna park in front of it. You go through there a lot of times in the evening, there ain't a spot left, it's packed. And I'm looking for a space and one I'm doing with it. One of the forces to be done inside and the other apartment. Yes, ma'am, you back again?
We're back again, we're in a second cat today.
Well, we thought we were reading it.
I bounced back pretty good.
What do you want today?
Okay, I am the president of the Monroe County Education Foundation this year. I've been on the board for approximately 10 years. And we have done a lot with the Education Foundation over the years. We started out, put a trailer together, asked for donations and dropped them off at all of the schools across the county. It was just a great project. When Cindy Anderson was president, she housed the actual trailer, and we'd have a schedule for people to pick up and people to help organize in the trailer, so it worked out really great. When she moved, we had nowhere to put the trailer, so we had it stored behind downtown hardware floor, because there's a camera back there, and it's all safe, that we go ahead and do that in there. And we hold the key over there, so people can get it at any time, access to it. Last year, there was a generous donation by the city for $7,500. It's starting its 24th year. So far they raised $15,000 last year, and they used that to buy, school supplies, which ended up, a lot of the public schools had COVID money, so they were giving it to the students in the form of supplies. So everybody had the same supplies, everybody had what it took to get the students where they needed to be for the year. So we started using the resources in other places with the foundation. And as a result of that, we filled in the gaps, basically, when new teachers came in and needed supplies, we helped them out in their rooms. And again, going back to yesterday when I was in here, the state had to go ahead and do this workshop for the children that were not up to speed yet where they needed to be. And this was to fill in the gap. So they also provided a music workshop for them, which was $2,500. And then we had teacher meals, which were workshop meals. And we also covered their little summer camp at the end of June this year. And they've also helped me out with the touch a truck this year. They filled in the gap for me to help pay for the meals for all the people that volunteered to be out there, all of the industry. So that helped out quite a bit, because I was doing that personally by myself. So we were able to fill in the gap that this year. And then again, we had the summer camp party at the end of the year over at Veterans Park. So that's where most of the funding went to. It is a good program. Like I said, it does fill in the gaps. I've seen where it makes a difference. Most of the principals and the teachers, they all appreciate us, when they're shorthanded on things, because a lot of these teachers in the past were dipping into their own pockets and putting their own money into their classrooms for their students. So we are again requesting the same amount, and behind it is, like I said, our little expenditures for the year that we've had so far. So I think it's a good plan. I think it's something that that we could work with, and I think that a lot of the other entities work with them too.
7,500.
Stay the same level. Does anybody have any questions? Do you have any questions? Really? Thank you. All right, I'll take that. Okay, short and sweet, I'm done. Thank you. Stay cool, everybody.
Want to go first?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Bridget Hall with your principal of Monroeville Elementary School. This is my letter. For this year and the expenditure is on the back. I first want to say thank you all for the $8,000 that was given to me last year. We was able to create a data room. We purchased the tables and the chairs for the teachers to come in where we can discuss the data. We had a data board. And we was able to buy trophies and awards and medals to support the kids with the data, with the growth that we see. We also asked for 3,000 for student incentives. We were able to do the homework again with our attendance. That went well. We were able to give 2 Chromebooks out each 9 weeks that we chose to do that. Then our students that go to the Special Olympics, we were able to help buy lunch. They saw the year before what the other children was buying the food off the food truck, and they came back telling me about it on stuff. We can't have our babies out there not buying, so this year we were able to get them food from the food truck. And we were able to give our kids $20 gift cards this year for the ones that were there every day for our ACAP assessment. It is a big deal for them to be there when they take the test with their class versus having to do makeup. So we were able to give out $1,770. Then this year we started with our kindergartners because we found out they were learning a letter every week. There's 26 alphabets. They're only in school for 37. So we pushed them this year to learn all of them by October. And for the most part, all of our children mastered that goal. And we were able to give them a celebration this year and call it the alphabet club, the letter club. With that being said, some of these things, again, we want to do next year. I am asking for a little bit more this year. I'm asking for $6,000 in the student incentive and $3,600 in music. I come from a background in music, and I noticed how over the years the bands have swelled. It's gone. I feel that if we introduce our kids to music a little bit earlier, they will want to be in band or do some type of music education when they get older. Ryan Dean came out this past summer for our summer camp with the Ed Foundation. They paid for him to come out and then, well, my kids did. Miss Stevens' children did the drums with the garbage can and the drumstick. Well, they saw that, they like, oh my God, we love that, we want to do that. So I want to implement that second through 4th grade this coming up year. We have every Wednesday where they have an hour piece. So he will be able to come in twice a month and work with grades 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. During that time for the students that want to investigate and learn more about percussion music. So that's why my budget is up a little, because he charged $100 an hour. And I want to try to get him in twice a month for 6 months. If we're looking at pre-K through 4th grade, the state doesn't recognize pre-K, but we have about 430 with pre-K. Now, if you're looking at my database of students, for about 340. And we have an additional pre-K this year, so that will help our numbers some.
So your budget requesting $9,600.
Correct. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I am Chicago Howard, principal of Monroe County High School. Good welcome. I prepared a folder for each of you, have the same documents in it, so I'm gonna go through those and talk at the same time. And we'll give you this one. Our letter of request is on top, and this year, our focus last year, we focused on trying to change the perspective of the students, parents, community of Monroe County High School with emphasizing a change and increased school pride, better care and attention to our athletic program, which is what our focus is this year, with college and career readiness and test scores. Well, last year, I had a chat issue last summer with the students and gauge their thought process on types of things that they would like to see in school, changes they would like to see made. And the only thing I had in return for them is I asked if you could get all of these things that you like. I need to see some improved test scores and some better academic and less discipline. So they did just that last year. Our test scores are still coming in, our data is still coming in. We have some data that comes in toward the end of the year. So I haven't quite got all of that, but we've had great growth from our pre-ACT to ACT. Last year, we were provided $8,000 from the city, so we did some beautification on the campus. We actually had 3 trips where all of our students, 9 through 12, were able to go to the Birmingham Science Research Center. So we partnered with them and they helped fund some of the trips, transportation, paying for subs, things of that nature. We used a portion of our city money to cover the costs that they did not cover. We also had some Saturday ACT prep sessions where we gave away jackets to students that attended it. We gave away shirts to parents who attended our sessions. We actually had students from Excel and JF Shields come alongside with our students in Monroe County how to take part in the session. We had a partnership with JF Shields High School where the principal and I came together to help pay for the presenter to go through ACT skills with the students. So that was part of our funding as well. We issued student incentives. We also have a Tiger Pride assembly at the end of the year. We gave away lots of gifts and prizes to students for attendance, academic behavior, roundabout character, different things of that nature. We also had some matching donations that were given to us to help with those things. So this is the last sheet that's in your packet where it has the breakdown. We had an award ceremony. Our seniors said they wanted something just for themselves because our award night was 9 through 12, and there was so many scholarships and things of that nature given out. So we broke the 2 up so the ceremony won't be so long. We also did lots of college fairs, lots of visits, visited community industry, a few industries out of town. So we have an expenditure of almost the entire $8,000. And to begin the year, we will take our students who benchmark on ACT to their trip to use the remaining balance of that amount. So on the front letter, like I said, it has a letter requesting support with the athletic program. We believe that when our athletics improve, when our facilities improve, which we are working on getting things done for our track this year, that those students will take more interest in becoming athletes, student athletes, getting college scholarships. That will bring money into the city for hotel stays, track meets. We don't have in Monroe County at all at any high school because none of the school facilities are equipped to handle it. So hopefully, once we get the track taken care of, that will bring revenue into the city and that will help support all of the high schools to keep travel costs down because now we have to go to Covington County multiple times a year. We have to pay entrance fees, registration fees for those track meets. And every year, a lot of people don't know this, but every year Monroe County High School has students who place in state track meet. That state track meet probably runs us maybe $3,500 every year. And track is a non-revenue sport. They bring in no funds. So they are in severe need. Our football team is also in severe need. On the second page, it starts with them. They're in the most priority. What I did is I spoke with each coach, met with them, found out what things they actually need to start their program for the year, what they need to finish it out, and some of the things that are not necessarily priorities and things that they would use to help train the athletes to get them to become better athletes as they progress. So you'll see a listing of football team needs. The next one is track team, volleyball. Volleyball is a low revenue sport, but not a non-revenue sport. Their priorities are not as high because it's a small number of girls. On the next page, you'll see a list of basketball team needs and also baseball and softball. So it's broken down by sport. Priorities are listed at the top and at the bottom of each section. What we did is we highlighted the things that they need the most. Like I said, some of the things on there just type of wish list type of thing. But I want to give you a roundabout idea of what they need and some things that they would like to have in the future. So our total request at the bottom of the second page with the listing is $20,000. I'm aware that's up there, but like I said, it's broken down by sport. So if you choose to select certain things from any sport, you can see the breakdown of that cost as well. For example, football, we have $6,475 that alumni have donated up to today in less than 2 weeks. So we're asking if you could match that amount, and that would give him enough money to buy all the pads, shoulder pads, mouth guards, things of that nature that he needs to get football started because we have less than 4 weeks before the first game. And those are safety issues that we have to have for our students in order to get out on that field. They can't play without those. Our helmets are high priority, but helmets, we have to order them in advance, and it may take 6 months before the helmets will come in. So it's a stage process. You order so many at a time to build your team up. Those have to be refurbished in order for students to go out. And of course, they can't play football without the helmet. For track, as I mentioned before about the track meet and the registration that's listed. Volleyball needs a protective pad, so when the girls play and they run into the net, they won't run into the wire and the fencing that's on that net. So that's a safety issue. Basketball, thanks to the Board of Education and them helping, we have gotten the courts redone, we've gotten the painting done in the gym. So we have some aesthetic things that need to be done, but we need some safety things taken care of for them too. Basketball rims, net, things of that nature. For baseball and softball, we need dirt for our softball field. So if you look on that second page with the list, that dirt costs about $3,000. So it would be great if somebody could donate some for both fields. That would be a cost we would not have to worry about. And like I said, the total is $20,000. But if you all grant us any funding, then we would take whoever needs priority, starting with football since it is first, and go down the list. And then I gave you all a listing of our football, basketball, and softball schedules. We would like to see you at some of our games. Like to come in. Any questions?
Quick question. Can you, I know shoulder pads were an issue or anything, you have any idea of this sustain any type of shoulder injuries or anything like that?
We did have a few students who had some ankle injuries. We had a few that had knee injuries because of the knee pads. We had some students who had shoulder pads were too big. We had some that had helmets that were too large. So with the number and the sizes that you have, like I said, on the helmets, you have to rotate those out. With the pads, you have to have enough cushion. So some of the padding sets that you see here, those are like 5 pad sets, like it includes shoulder, knee, and those, they have thigh pads and everything else as well. So those are depending on the size of the students that come in. Sometimes students can keep their pads from year to year, but after time it wears out. So we had a few that had injuries, but luckily nothing life-threatening, nothing that broken, anything last year. But it is a definite safety issue because those pads and those helmets they got to have in order to play.
We have a full coaching staff in place.
We have 4. We just hired a driver's ed health teacher. I do have 1 math position open. The coach is now actually at the athletic conference this week. I go up tomorrow. So they have a network between the coaches where they can put in and say, hey, if somebody has a coaching slot available, if you teach math, we're looking for people that we can fill those slots. We also partner with Ms. Hollinger and Ms. Stevens at the elementary and middle school. So whenever they have male coaches or female coaches that come in, we work with them to fill our coaching slot. So 4 is not a lot. A coaching staff for football with a vibrant team probably needs 7 to 10. So we are struggling in that area. But everybody in the state, is struggling trying to fill teachers. But luckily, like I said, with the partnership with the other schools, we have filled some of those gaps.
It's the same head coach as last year.
How many students do you have? 325. 325.
And there's been attention to the academics in Monroe. Monroe was a general thing.
Right.
County high is it, and we had some increase in this in the last couple of years. I know COVID did on that.
Right.
Basically, has that been improving?
We've had an increase in recruiters coming in, seeing our season for football. We did have a football camp this past May on campus where some of the students participated. But we are trying to push that academic gap between academics and athletics. So like I said before, when athletics improves, just like school pride, if they see a winning team, if they got great scores, that pushes the kids to thrive and do better. They want to excel in class. And plus they have to be academically sound to play sports anyway. They cannot be academic sound and not be athletic.
Can you have an issue with, students want to transfer from Monroe County High to other schools?
We do, But that issue we have discovered is more so of, better facilities. Which like I said, that's what we're trying to get, better, options and better things for our athletes. So, and our students, they can tell you, like, last year we went to Thomasville, High School. And the students were like, okay, we don't have that facility, we don't have that facility. That's why we're pushing so hard to get the track redone. Because we know once that track gets redone, the architecture actually came out last week. They have to look at the track and the seating capacity in the stadium. So that means they have to look at the bathrooms, they have to look at the concession stand, they have to look at the field house. We've actually had some construction in the field house just redone, they've redone some painting. We've replaced the washers and dryers, things of that nature. Basic necessities is what we need, and the building was actually built in 1978, but the field house was built in 1976. So you can imagine the wear and tear that's going on with the property. But like I said, we've gotten some capital outlay money that's coming in, so we're trying to get that track on track so we can bring in that revenue. And like we said, hopefully boost that coaching staff, boost that student pride, and get more students on the field.
County is, you're basically funding it from through the taxes. So you're gonna pay through the county.
Well, the capital outlay is state fund, so it is property taxes and money coming down from the state. Some of this is like an overlay of COVID funding that's coming down from the state, and with capital outlay, they dictate, what they do on your premises. A lot of people in the general public don't understand that we cannot build a building, we cannot build structure. So that has to come through the Board of Education. All right, thank you.
Very good.
And give us the- Thank you.
You get everybody as enthusiastic about it as you are, that's gonna happen.
I hope so, that's my goal.
Is it okay if I come back?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening. For many of you who may not know me, I'm Edna Richardson. I serve as a principal at Monroe County Career Tech Center, and my instructor, number one teacher, Mr. Ruffin, is my agri-construction teacher.
Conflict of interest.
And I also serve as the Career Tech Director for the school district. Pardon me, I didn't give I'm not gonna give a real long speech, Ms. Howard. I hand it off to you. I'm gonna be quick. My goal at Monroe County School System is to increase our college and career ready. But we realize that all our students are not gonna go to college. And I am bridging our students over to possibly technical school or workforce. I work directly with the State Department. I've been in education for 33 years. I've been in career and technical education for 16. So I know many of the staff at the State Department. That's how I get some of the programs. I got JROTC, because you have to rub your shoulders with the right people. That's how I got JROTC. JAGS is a program that's also was granted and funded through the State Department because Monroe County, because of my mouth, I can really talk really well, like Ms. Howard when I need to. But my goal is to get all our high schools on the A+ status of the report card and keep them off the failing list. So we have a great job in that academic pool. College and career ready count somewhat as far as that report card. I serve approximately 850 students every school day, because students from JUV, JF Shield, Excel, and of course, Monroe County High School students, the bulk of my enrollment, because many of those students come over many times, 3 times a day, because Ms. Howard and Ms. Dickerson are going to rely on us for many of those electives. And when I say electives, we just don't put programs out there. We have to put programs out there that have teeth. So the State Department trusts me to put programs in our county that's going to transition our students to technical schools or workforce. For instance, Mr. Ruffin's program, he's going to teach his students the foundations of building, and hopefully Reed State or Coastal will grab them with grants and give them some type of a certificate. We're big on welding. Welding is a really big program for us. We have about 48 students in a year that goes to welding. CDL is popular, but Reed State has some issues. It's just really tough trying to get instructors. The first year, a couple years ago, we graduated about 8 students, 5 with certificates.
This year, they couldn't find an instructor, so we had the first semester and dropped it the second. So they're trying to get it back on. We have so many students who want that CDL program. My counselors and career coach goes out and we get the recruitment. We just don't put anybody in our program. They have to want to be there, because I kick them out in a minute. If they don't produce with the grades and with the skills, I'm sorry, I have no need for them. If they have discipline issues, sagging pants, they say I'm tough. I mean, that's just the word, but it's okay. We gotta be tough and they gotta rise up to our standards. But I serve about 850 children. This year, our college and career ready for the district. That's what the State Department looks at for our district, to give us an A+ or a C+ school. I was so gracious, I was so happy that it came up to 78%. Last year, it was only at 70%. So each school is different. Miss Howard School, I believe hers was at like a 66% last school term, which produces college and career ready students. That tells us that students are ready to go into technical school or workforce. This year, I believe Miss Howard has about, what, 76%, right? It's
I checked the other day, it was 83.
so you see, it makes a difference what college and career ready does for our students. Career tech program students love them. In fact, I have a waiting list. And I have to just sit there and just say, I can't take you, I can't take you, I can't take you. That hurts my heart. But I cannot put all children in the program. One year I can afford 26 students in cosmetology. I had 80 students who wanted to come and take that program one period. So I had to take them and say, you can't take it. So our programs, there is a need. I'm going to be brief. I'm about getting to the pen and getting to the nuggets. I want to get my students with credentials, certificates that will get them jobs. I'm focusing on business programs this year simply because we had 3 students who got certificates. A certificate or a credential, they're recognized by workforce development. Coastal Community College recognized 3 of our business teacher students who graduated from my business program with a MOS certification. A MOS, Microsoft Office certification, entails a student who is an expert in Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, more or less computer skills. So they hired those 3 students at Coastal this year as instructors, as an assistant instructor. That speaks volumes. That really does. To get that child straight out of high school, from a graduate from Monroe County High, they're going to Coastal and on a scholarship, and they also can work because of that certificate. Mr. Ruffin affords his student with an CER credential. Georgia Pacific, they recognize that credential. All of our programs in career and technical education, they must have a certificate. That's what the State Department has hired, and Mr. Sheehan has hired me for, and you can tell Mr. Ruffin knows I push them. I don't have to push them for, because they recognize what they need to pour into their students, and they do as such. So at the end of the year, I can put it in our computers that all of our students, and I ask for at least 70%, and many of them get 80% of those credentials with the students. So what I put in your folder would be something more or less geared to, because I have some software and books and textbooks. I bought some from Mr. Ruffin, JRTC, industrial maintenance last year, but I would love to buy some textbooks for our business program since many of those students got credentials. And I put in your folder quotes for 70 Chromebooks, but I'm asking just for half of those. I also put quote in there for some textbooks. We're in desperate need for textbooks for our business programs. These textbooks will help get those skills for our students. So I'm asking for $7,500. If you could graciously at least afford that, we would appreciate it. Most of those computers are going to be sitting in the counselor's office. All the teachers will have access, but I'm focusing with the business programs on the Chromebook. Of course, with the textbooks, the business teachers, I have 2 business teachers at my center, and they serve only Monroe County High School students. So those textbooks will be a great need for that. They also can be used for cooperative education, which is a great program for our counties. I have a cooperative ed coordinator who goes out to get students jobs. These seniors realize, hey, I'm not going to college. I want to go on into workforce. So my coordinator worked with these seniors in getting those soft skills, getting to work on time, knowing how to dress, no sagging, no cell phones, being respectful to your boss. That's what we need in our young folks. Our young folks don't have those soft skills. So we're trying to at least teach and make a difference and make an impact with our children. I have 16 teachers in the district. I have 9 at the Career Tech Center. And there's a need. I don't get as much money as the high schools. So that's why I'm in front of you. I only get Perkins. Perkins gives me about $79,000. And of course, there's grants out there all the time. And I try to apply when they offer them to us. But my funds are limited. And that's why I'm asking you for some monies to help purchase those Chromebooks and those textbooks. Any questions about career and technical education for me? I'm proud. Mr. Ruffin and the students did a great job this year. COVID held us down last couple of years. Last year, they started rebounding back. This year was great. I want to say 80% of all my teachers actually gave their student certificates, so they graduated. And we have to do follow-up on our seniors. On all our seniors that graduate career and technical education, Mr. Ruffin has to contact his seniors. Hey, what you doing? We don't want them on the corner. We want them in school, in workforce, in college, or in military. That's a successful student for us. So we follow up, and if they're not where they need to be, Mr. Ruffin and the other teachers and we're going to try and get them on track. So there's some meat in career and technical education. That's the focus now, because we realize that everybody get these degrees, they can't get jobs. In fact, they get a certificate tagged on with the degree, and that gets them a job.
Ms. Richardson.
Yes.
What was the funding last year? Was it 7,500?
For me, you mean enrollment or?
No.
8,000.
8,000.
Yeah.
And then how many students are served?
I served 850
Houses.
last year. Now this year, I have pre-registration. Pre-registration tells me it's gonna be 875, but I can tell you right now, I'm gonna have to turn some of those seats down. So that enrollment is going to decrease. We have popularity with all the high schools. In fact, I have to give out a certain number to Monroe County High, XL, JUB, and JFTS, because I like to be fair to all students in all high schools. They all have an opportunity to come down to the career tech center. Even though they have career tech programs at their high schools, it's not everything there. They like the variety at our center.
Where are y'all located?
It's right behind Monroe County High School,
Okay.
right between
I thought it was
the
something.
alternative school and Monroe County High.
I thought it was somewhere about people change things.
No, that's a welding. That's where we bust our welding school. That's what coastal welding program is. But Dr. Pouncey is currently trying to get a bigger welding program right at coastal. In fact,
They're building down there.
yes, sir. That's exactly what they're building. I don't know if that students are gonna be able to walk in there in August, but that was his goal. That's what he's done.
I think the students we have at ROTC.
JRTC, last year, last school term, it was 69, but I anticipate more because Dr. Mackey at the state level put in something new, completion. And last year it really helped. That's why Ms. Howard can proudly say she had 83%. She and her counselor gave me transcripts, and I was able to evaluate each senior's transcript. If they took 3 of Mr. Ruffin's class from the 9th through 12th grade, I could check them off as completers, and that helps our high school to be like A+ schools. So yes, about 69, we're gonna have more because the high schools are gonna put them there because they don't have a rigorous test like Mr. Ruffin. They have to be in that program 3 years, and we can give them a certificate. It's a really popular program. I have great instructors. The supervisor of the program, actually they commute. One is from Milton, Florida, and one is from Monroeville. He comes down every day. Connecticut kind of tried to get it from me, but I guess he's pleased with us, Mr. Ruffin. He wouldn't leave. Sergeant Allen said, no, I'm not going anywhere, Mr.
Driving
Ruffin.
with the tape.
But they're great instructors. They really make a difference with our children.
Ms. Richardson, I got a question. On this last page, these Chromebooks. This is the quote for 30 and you only asked for 15.
Yeah, because I know your money.
I know you're modest.
Yeah,
I think we need to ask for at least a little bit more. Because those Chromebooks, we use those in class to do our system. So it's not just necessarily using the book. So sometimes I might have a class in the morning times when I have county high kids, WB kids, Shields kids, everybody in one class, I may not have enough Chromebooks. So it's kind of hard to sit there and actually teach the lesson with not enough Chromebooks, because you're gonna have somebody that's gonna have an idle, mind. So I don't.
thank you, but I realize, and I'm not Mr. Reppin, no, I'm modest, we do have some, we only have about 10. And they have to check them out, and sometimes they can't get them, and that's why I wanted to get more. This, and testing, they do remediation on these Chromebooks. So we do a lot with technology.
Yeah, we don't do paper systems for our certifications, everything's online, so it's graded and it's logged in. So it's hard giving a test to a class when you don't have any Chromebook. So you have to break it up. You have to get some test one day, and then you have to get some test another day. So it would be great if we all had enough Chromebooks to do it.
I am modest, and I don't, like I said, I don't get a lot of fundings from the State Department. Last year, they gave me 78,000, and I have to fund all of my 16 programs throughout the district. In fact, Excel is on me now. Computers is a must. They have to have updated computers. And the State Department tells me that I have to have a new computer every 5 years. So I have to kind of get JF Shields 15 1 year, Monroe County High. So I need y'all to know computers are really expensive. And that's not a lot of money, but we do the best we can. But Mr. Ruffin and they come together somehow. And I go out and sometimes I get donations from representatives. Sometimes they will give me something. So thank you, Mr. Ruffin. He knows that we really need it. So I would appreciate it if it would get on your heart to give us more, but if you just give us half of that, I would be appreciative. Yeah.
So do you get any funding from any of the other incorporated cities in the county?
No, sir, this is all I did. Ed Foundation will support us with classroom materials like they gave Mr. Ruffin them, like rulers, things that teach the just the skill set of this program, maybe about $1,000. So I'll get Perkins, State Department gives me operation and maintenance, that's funds I use closely with professional development, that's not much, it's about $30,000. So I have to just sort of, I sell break, a lot of times it works really hard, Mr. Ruffin, no, I have to sell break, but that's a lot of money, but we can do like incentives with those kind of things, take children to field trips, or let them see business industry. My teachers are real good. I'm a real big thing on our children have to get out of Monroe County. They have to see what's abroad. So we take them down there to Ingalls. Last year, they went to Ingalls. They went to several Miles College, but we focus on technical areas. So I don't have a lot of money, and we just do the best we can.
It's a good question what you asked. In town of Excel, if they have students get to high school, did they not give $2,000 or something, or is it?
Well,
Blacksburg, you have the pre-Indian do a lot of things in Blacksburg, with the same way they have people coming this way, they're funding it.
no, so you all I got, the city of Monroe, since we're a city school. Blackshear, they have a Creek Indians, Excel, the community take care of Excel. So you all are all I got in the State Department. Basically, the Monroe County Board of Education supports me in giving units, teacher units, like Mr. Ruffin, the JROTC. So they support me with teacher units only. But basically, I have to use the money that the State Department gives me. Right now, there's a grant out, and I'm sure Ms. Howard is on that grant. All the high schools, it's so important with college and career ready indicators. Dr. Mack at the State Department recognizes this. So they're putting out $300,000 grant. So I was on that webinar in hopes that my center could apply for that grant as well. So no, we cannot. We can be a part of that grant, and they need to put us a part of that grant because they probably won't get it, because career ready indicators is a focus at that State Department right now. So, Ms. Howard, I'm sure you're part of that grant, right?
If it is, they need to, give it a little more money.
I think so. I talked to Dr. Mack, and he said so much or we can do, and I'm not saying Monroe County Board of Education doesn't help me. If I go to Mrs. Sheehan and say, like, for instance, I told him about welding, the numbers were increasing. I said, Mr. Sheehan, we need 2 school buses instead of 1. So he and the board members are paying for the gas to bus those children from all the schools to Coastal for welding. So they will help. We do like career fairs, at the Baptist church. He'll help me with gas. But, you know, it's just so much money he has as well. I don't want y'all to think I'm complaining, but we're doing all we can do. And I would appreciate it if you all could help with this so we can get our students in workforce, technical schools. And if some want to go to colleges like JROTC, they can get scholarships there with ROTC with no juniors. Any other questions, Mayor? Ms. Barton? Ms. McDaniel? There. All right, thank you all for your consideration.
I know, I was waiting on one more. I'm not sure if she gonna make it. She on the way.
Here.
Mhm. We can go ahead with the next person if you wanna go.
Y'all didn't come, right? So, come
Yeah.
Y'all okay? How are y'all today?
We're getting the share open.
I am, in case you do not know me, I'm Misty Powell. I'm a 4-H agent for Monroe County. Sure, I'm not giving anybody my copy with my notes.
Thank you.
So I'm speaking to you today on behalf of our Monroe County 4-H Leadership Program. Monroe County is a program, our Monroe County 4-H is a program that services children specifically 4-H age 9 to 18. But we can service children younger than that as well. We just ran all of our end of the year reports this past week, and Monroe County 4-H serviced 977 children throughout Monroe County last year. Those are from all the schools in the county as well as some of our home store kids. The program that we're requesting funds for this year is our youth leadership program. This one specifically targets juniors in the county. It is a program where our main focus is just to talk to them about leadership and teach them about leadership skills. It is not a leadership club where we do service opportunities or like community service. I tell them at the beginning, this is one of those programs where I want them to really do self-reflection and learn how to become a better leader. So on the very first page, where we talk about the goals and the mission, we accept 25 applicants into this program. There is an application process. We partner with the principals and the counselors at the high schools. So the students will fill out an application. We do individual interviews with them. They have to have parents' permission, principals' permission, and their counselors' permissions to be out of school because these sessions are during the day. We typically start in October. We have 1 session a month. So on the second page where I have the 2022-2023 session dates, those were the dates of this past year as well as the topics for those. These sessions run from 8 o'clock till about 12:30. Sometimes they'll be a little earlier or a little later. But I put a sample agenda on the third page. That was our first session. Because the students come straight to us in the morning instead of going to their schools, we do serve them breakfast. We usually start out, that very first one was program expectations and enrollment to get any of them that weren't 4-H members enrolled. But typically those first 30-45 minutes is some type of 4-H program. That particular day, we had what is leadership, where we go over the characteristics of a leader. We did personality tests. And if you see at the bottom of that agenda, you see the leadership book study. We always purchase the kids some kind of book. The past 2 years, I've gotten a John Maxwell book. And they actually have assignments where they read those and we go through that book and talk about what they read and what they learned from it. One of the, in my opinion, it's one of my favorite days. The whole session dates lead up to the last program, which is mock interviews with some of our business leaders. In the March session, we go over resume skills with them. We teach them how to go through job descriptions, scholarship application descriptions, and build those descriptions to their individual skills. And so we contacted, last year we contacted several businesses in the county. And they actually provided us with a real job description from their company. And we assigned the students one of those job descriptions. So they had to research the job. They had to come prepared with some common interview questions. So we kind of prepare them for that and go through mock interviews ourselves. And then we put them in the position where I tell them it's almost like speed dating. They'll go through about 2 or 3 interviews in that last session. And I've had many of them tell me that's one of the most helpful for them, because it just kind of helps calm their nerves when it comes time for them to, I mean, some of them will be applying for jobs, but more particular scholarships and college applications. So that's always a really fun day. So we also try to ask some different speakers to come in, just because I don't want them to get tired of hearing me talk, or, you know, some of the people that help us run these programs. Last year, we asked Chris Hines, he's the head basketball coach for Reed State. I heard him speak years ago when I taught at Redmond Junior High School, and I called him and asked him to come back and speak to our kids. And he really talked to them this time about his situation. I don't know if any of y'all have ever met him or heard his story, but he comes from a difficult home life. And he talks really big about not letting your circumstance predict your outcome. And so he came and spoke to them that same day. We had Carla Robinson from the Connecticut County Extension Office come and talk to them about goal setting, how to set those goals, how to make those goals realistic and stick to them. And then Ricky Powell from the YMCA kind of partners on this program, and he'll lead several of the sessions on just characteristics of leadership and get some ready for the interviews. So throughout the book, you can just see different pictures of things that we've done. Another thing that I love about this program is we have juniors from every single high school in the county. So it's always funny, those first session, they come in and you'll have J.O. Shield sit here, and County High sit here, and J.U. Blackfield sit here, and Monroe Academy will sit here. And we immediately, you got to mix up. You got to sit with somebody you don't know. And so we do that every single session. And so by the end of it, they all know each other. They're somewhat of a team. And then it's good to see them interacting in different ways outside of youth leadership, like the chamber ambassadors, or we had a lot of them come back and volunteer for the Ag Festival with Soil and Water Conservation District. And I was a part of that as well. And when I see them come in and they start talking and they know each other, where they normally would not have ever met each other without this program. So I've enjoyed watching them grow that way. Another thing we did this year that was new is we were able to attend Auburn University's High School Leadership Conference. It was a full day conference. We rented a charter bus and we left here probably about 6 o'clock in the morning. We spent the whole day at Auburn, and they had really good breakout sessions. They got to tour the campus. This leadership conference is led by some of Auburn's student leaders. So it was great for them to interact with people who really aren't that much older than them. They got to talk to the director of student services there. So that was a really fun day. The past 2 years, the DYW winner has been one of our 4-H leadership participants. The year before last, the interview category, all 3 winners were leadership members. And this particular year, 2 of the leadership members were received scholarships with the Alabama 4-H Foundation. They would not have had access to those scholarships without this program. So we have been really proud of that. The expected expenses for the year, which is where we got the $8,000 that we are requesting, is on the back page. The supplies that we purchased the leadership books for them, which are the ones we do the book study with. And we also purchased them just like 3-ring notebooks, pens, things like that they can take notes with, or if we give them handouts or tip sheets and those type things. Food, again, because they come straight to us instead of going to their school, we provide breakfast and we also provide lunch. Lunch every day is usually catered from like AJ's or Pizza Hut. So the typical session meals for all 25 cost about $150. The last session when we do the mock interviews, after we get through with those at the extension office, we always go to the country club and have a really nice sit down catered lunch, where those business leaders will have a feedback session with the participants and just kind of tell their strengths and weaknesses and some things they can work on in their interviews. the Auburn Leadership Day. This year, there was a $60 registration fee for all the participants, so that $4,000 would cover registration. I'm assuming it would be the same. We haven't got those numbers yet. And then the charter bus. Midwinter Leadership Retreat is a retreat that 4-H puts on. It's held at the 4-H Center in Columbiana. And I always encourage kids to go. Last year, we had 3 teenagers go, and we were able to pay their way to go to that camp. It's about $140. It's an overnight camp. They spend 2 nights, 3 days there, and they do the same thing. They just kind of go to different breakout sessions that teach leadership skills, interact with different kids from across the state. So I always encourage them. My goal is to try to encourage at least 5 participants to go so we could pay their way. If we had more than that, we could split this 800 and kind of give them a tuition stipend, or we can always partner this with other program funding that we get to pay their way to go to that leadership retreat. I have been to that before with some of my 4-H members, and it's a really good experience. And then 1,500 is set aside for guest speakers. I haven't nailed down an exact speaker yet, but I've been in contact with 2. One company is called Top Youth Speakers. They're a nationwide company. And so they have, we've been talking with possibly getting Melvin Adams, who is a former Harlem Globetrotter that does a lot of motivational speaking with middle school, high school age kids. So I'm talking with them for information. And then there's also a man at Auburn University that does motivational speaking named George Patrick. And he was actually at the high school leadership conference last year and was phenomenal. The kids reacted very well. So the breakdown of those expected expenses are on the back page, and that's it. Short and sweet. Anybody have any questions about anything?
Same funding as last year.
It is the same funding as last year. This is my 2nd full year with 4-H. From what I understand, that's the funding they've received for that program for a while. Any questions? Okay, thank you for your consideration.
Yeah, this is your pictures on back here.
My name is Zachary Stanley. I'm with the Alabama Cooperative Extension System, and I'm here requesting funding for the Harvest Community Garden. We started the garden in 2021. And as you can see from the pictures in the book there, it started out as a forest. We had full-grown trees, briars, just everything in that garden. We got together with some of the community leaders and we cleared the site. We had original donations from funding from RC&D, RC&D, and we took that and we did the 16 raised beds. And from those raised beds, we donated 889 pounds of vegetables per year. And after that, we were on a roll and we set out to get more funding, more volunteers. And in 2022, we donated over 1,000 pounds. And so far this year, just July, we started in April, we have donated over 100 bags of fresh vegetables to the food insecure citizens in Monroe County. We have gone to Lord Peachtree, Bredenburg, the Collinsworth community, just anybody who needed anything. I get phone calls every day. Do you have vegetables? Where can I get vegetables? And I'm like, oh, I can get them to you. Just let me know. Anybody who needs them. That's what we're here for. What we are asking for funding for right now is to expand the garden. We have 2 sections in the garden that is still needs to be cultivated. But we would like to clear that site, amend the soil, and create 8 more raised beds and 1 in-ground bed. So we can grow more vegetables and distribute more vegetables. So what we've done, we have we don't just grow vegetables. And I did a display at our grassroots discussion last week at the extension office. And I wanted everybody to know that we do vegetables, but we also have young people in it. You know, we mentor young people. We have workshops. We work with Donna Silcox and Mr. Kelly with the juvenile kids when they need community service, and we bring them in on Saturdays and we mentor them. And we also work with them, you know, get them the pool leagues and things like that. But it's a great experience for them and it's a great experience for us. You know, we try to get everything out there. We also do workshops on nutrition eating, healthy eating, harvest. I call it harvesting table, not farm table, but harvesting table, where we go out there and we take cucumbers and tomatoes and we make the cucumber tomato salad, and it's in the booklet as well. And that's what we do. We teach people how to grow your own vegetables. So if you are interested in a garden, we can help you create a garden. We can tell you what type of soil you need in there, what type of material you need. If you want to raise beds, if you want to ground bed, we can help with that. We can give you the knowledge, the information to do whatever you need to do as far as grading, fresh vegetables. So you can be self-reliant. Any questions? I can do that. We can do that. What
Where your basic students come from to help you in this?
we have community leaders, we have people that out in the county, anybody who wants to volunteer.
I didn't know, so.
It's all on a volunteer basis.
Okay.
Everything is on a volunteer basis. We don't have funding to pay anybody. And people just come and want to volunteer. We had a guy, he was in a car accident and he had PTSD. And he asked me, he said, I just want to move something out with my hands has been moving at all times. And I said, I have a perfect thing for you. Come to the garden, let me show you around. And he came out and he did great. He told me about 2 months later, he said, I love this. How can I keep doing this? I said, it's here. We're here for you, whatever you need. I mean, you know, if there's other people who need to come in and just, you know, that's what we want to grow your mind, grow your spirit. Just help you any way you can. This is behind the old peace. Yes. Yes. So we did, Anthony and I did a tomato workshop. Where Anthony did the tomato part. And we walked everybody down to, and I showed them how to connect or assemble irrigation to your vegetables and how to use digital timers. You know, we can't do this without water. So, yeah. It's a wonderful program, and we're asking for the funding so we can do more. Put those new beds out there and get them vegetables out to the people in the community. Any questions?
Thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
They're down there in Grace, those jars, the cucumber relish and stuff. Y'all,
No, we didn't make the cucumber relish, but what we did make, that was for the grassroots discussions.
Oh,
Misty made the pickles
okay.
and cucumbers and jalapeno peppers were grown at the garden. We did a joint effort there and we created those pickles specifically for the participants of the grassroots discussion. But everybody who participated got a jar of pickles. And that basket there, the volunteers at the garden put together fresh vegetables and we donated that to Bounty and Grace as a door prize. So, you know, everything dealing with vegetables, nutrition, healthy eating, self-reliance, mentoring youth, we want that at the garden. Eventually, what we would like to have is a building put down there so we can have a washing station, a demonstration kitchen, so we can harvest that stuff and do demonstrations right there on the spot. That's our long-term goal, you know, so. Right now, we just need, and we also need restrooms down there, so we can get the elderly down there and we can do this well. But right now, we're asking for volunteers. Any volunteers? Volunteers. Any questions? Yes, come and see us. Yes, yes, yes. Come and see us. Come and see.
Not right now.
Look, you can get your hands dirty. You would never see my nails done, because I'm always in the shirt and I never wear gloves. Never wear gloves. So, any questions?
Let's see, were you requesting the same amount? Yeah.
We are requesting $2,000. Last year we got 1,000. We can use that to the max. This year we're requesting 2,000 so we can buy those concrete blocks, so we can build those 8 beds. Now, we have a volunteer who's going to come out there with his tractor and till up the in-ground bed, but we need those concrete blocks, fertilizer, plants, things like that, to expand the garden so we can do more. Any questions? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Do y'all wanna go ahead and get Miss Stevens up? You-
Good evening.
I'm Valerie Stevens, from Monroeville Middle School. I apologize for having another meeting. I thought it was gonna be a while quicker, but it is. But I come on behalf of Monroeville Middle School. First of all, I want to thank you for your contributions on last year. Last year, you all funded raised beds that we used to have just left, help with our 5th and 6th grade students, as we still have things out there that we're harvesting now. Also, one of the raised beds that we use to help our special needs self-contained class, they planted flowers and they harvested that all year, so they were excited about that. You all funded ink for our journalism class. And they were able to present the Tiger T newspaper every other week with the help of Ms. Neer, our librarian at the school. This year, we are asking we're going to extend that program. What we did in the past was it was just with a 5th grade class. This year, we're going to include 7th and 8th grade, or 7th and 8th grade class. And what we want to do is get them started and introduce them in journalism in 7th grade, let them get started so that by the time they get to 8th grade, those 2 classes will work together. One class can work on designing, the paper, the other class work going out, interviewing students, interviewing teachers, everything in the paper is centered around our students in Monroeville Middle School. So we're looking to extend that program. Also, you all funded our STAR program. Last year we did STAR for reading. This year STAR is extended for math and reading. That assessment we used for the students this summer. And I'm proud to say that all the students that came to our summer enrichment program showed growth from the STAR test, when they first did it, versus the result at the end. We use city monies for incentives for that STAR students who showed the most growth. We want to include that this year. And another big project we plan on doing, we're asking for funding for, is the arts. We paid for Miss Sherry to do an art class, and it was a small number of kids that we did. And the kids had good success. They were very excited about it. We had kids ask at the end of the year, we want to do art again next year. We like I said, we only have small groups, so we're trying to find out if there's a way we can fund art for everybody at the new school. So that's what we asked. Miss Sherry did help with projects this summer. Our summer enrichment kids, we utilized her again this summer, and she was able to work with them. So what we're asking for, our same amount from last year, $10,000, which is going to include the art instructor supplies for all the students. It's just not a club. The continuous support of our journalism class moving from 1 to 2, and then also continue to provide incentives for our students at Monroeville Middle School. Are there any questions?
How many students are in the school?
340. Thank you.
That's all was happening yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a much better day.
Sure. Yeah, but
Afternoon, I'm Liz Kirby, I'm the administrator at the hospital. Just want to thank y'all for the opportunity to come and present our request this year, and thank you for the previous funding that y'all provided. We were able to get the smoke excavator for the operating room, as well as the medication tables for the operating room, and the additional computer workstations for our staff in the emergency room. So thank you so much for that. It definitely helped us provide better patient care. So thank you. This year, we're requesting assistance for a couple things. The first is a vein finder and bedside ultrasound. So what that equipment does is help our nurses with patients that have difficult veins to get an IV started. If you've ever had an IV, you can appreciate minimizing the number of attempts is appreciated by both the patient and nurse. And then the bedside ultrasounds for physicians to do some bedside diagnostic work, for primarily with vascular studies. So those two pieces of equipment will total about $8,000. Second are some thermometers across the whole hospital. We need about 20 new thermometers. They're all way past end of life, and we're having a hard time keeping them calibrated. Biomed does a great job having them pieced together, but we're way past when we probably should have been using them. So to get all the new thermometers for all the departments would be about $8,000. So the last piece of equipment are the overbed tables that patients have their meals off of. We've had to take about 5 of those out of commission because they were chipped and cracked. And so when we're not able to appropriately clean them, they become an infection control issue. So then what happens at mealtime is our nurses are juggling trying to serve patients, and it makes their job, which is already very difficult, even harder. So if we could replace those 5, which we talked about $1,000, that would be, if we talked about it. So all those things total about $15,000, which I think historically is what y'all have been able to help us with. If there was any additional capacity in the budget, you never know if you don't ask, right? We would like some assistance with our internal signage. Our patients and visitors have a hard time finding their way around the hospital, and signage is very expensive. So what we would, permanent signage that we install is quite expensive. We would like to replace what's in the main lobby when you first come in, just have some basic directional instruction for the different departments. And then also when you get back to the outpatient area, the lab, radiology, that's sort of where people get most confused. That project is, like I said, it's shockingly expensive. That's about $15,000. So any assistance with that would be very, very.
Probably the third.
Yes, sir.
How much funding do you get from health and patient?
So recently they bought us a baby scale for the clinic. And they've also awarded some scholarships for students. I've been working really closely with Melody, Bradley, and Christy Dunn to make sure that we're communicating really well, good partners with them. So I think, you know, we hope the foundation can grow to be really, really successful. And so we're just really trying to work more closely with them. There's a fundraiser tomorrow night. If anyone doesn't have their tickets yet, would like to go.
my pocket.
Yeah, okay.
So there's things I do. I'm going to the thing.
Oh, me too. When we're recruiting industry, our 2 major things in class are school system and hospital. If we don't have those 2, they look at it. So we appreciate what you do. Y'all.
Well, we have an amazing team. Well, thank you all for the consideration.
Thank you.
The library.
Hi, Angie Snyder, Monroe County Public Library. Thank you for inviting me back again this year. Shannon Hall Jones is my chairman, and she is looking with me, she's the two of us. She, sends her regrets and apologies for not being here. She had surgery last week, didn't reschedule it, and she was like, please tell mom when it's done. So she really did. Even when I spoke with her today, she's, so we're sorry she's not here. She will be back next year. So I've given you guys a little packet in the red folder. Basically outlining what we did with our current year's appropriation and agency funding. And it's pretty well spelled out, I think, so I'm not gonna go back through that for you guys. However, I do want to tell you what we've been doing at the library and what we are asking for this year. So first of all, what we've been doing is a little bit about the library in case you don't know. We altered our hours. We were 9 to 5. We are now 8:30 to 4:30, more in line with the rest of the big round square. We still are open on Saturday from 9 to noon. And on Thursday nights, like right now, we're open because we have an archives going. If we have a special event or we're accommodating a special group, we will stay open late on Thursdays to do that. For this year, we've already had, which is really cool, 7,029 patrons that we've logged. And how we log a patron is, we make a tick mark. We hand count every single person that comes to the library, to the best of our ability. So we know that we hand counted 7,029 different visits by people. And keep in mind the number of people that live in the county. So I think that is from October 1st till June the 30th. I think we're doing pretty well on track. We've already logged over 1,400 people come in and use our computers. We are currently at 4 computers. This coming fiscal year, which I'm going to ask you not about computers, but another project. I'm going to work computers in so that we can replace those 4 brand new ones from a different funder. We've already checked out over 4,000 items this year. That could be a book, a movie, a costume. It could be a hotspot. Those are things that we typically circulate. And we've already done that over 4,200 times actually. We still offer our free book card. So people want to donate books to the library. We're always willing to accept donations. And we do. And if we can add those to our collection, we do. But we make sure that the donor is comfortable with us donating those back to our book card for other people who are adding books to their libraries. Recently, I found out that some of the books from our park are actually going to a laundromat in the area, or a couple of them, and they're being left there. So our free books are going forward to another small library where books fly. I think that's really cool. Opportunity to read is out there for everyone. We served 50 children for summer reading week. We had 5 days, 20 hours of nonstop fun and reading. The kids all received at least 4 books of their own, compliments to our funders for their own libraries at home. Agencies that we work with, there's a whole list of things that we've done in your packet, programs and services, but highlights, the Chamber, Main Street, City, the United Way. I'm sorry, well, they use us as a location. The YMCA is what I was going for. King's Kids, we have hosted a student all summer for the Southwest Alabama Career Center. She worked for us, they pay her. She's learned some really great office skills, and we're always happy to host anyone who's on assignment for an agency. We had over 16, almost 1,700 volunteer hours logged since October 1st. That translates to a donated amount of around $53,000. So I want y'all to know this because I'm asking you for funding to help with other things, but I want y'all to know that we're doing our best to fill in the gaps with other donors as well, including volunteers. Historically, we've asked for $30,000 for overhead, for administrative costs, salaries, personnel, and utilities. And I very much like to ask for that again this year. We are staying pretty consistent with those costs The money that you guys appropriate for us is paired with also money from the county and money from other donors, for the whole utility bill. And obviously y'all know about personnel taxes and all that. So we have two full-time employees. I'm full-time and William Johnson is full-time. And we have one part-time employee, Bridget Glidewell. She is our circulation assistant for the front. We have two regular volunteers who work at the front, an RSVP lady who is amazing, and a community volunteer, and they come every Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or Tuesday and Thursday. They work 2 days a week for about anywhere between 4 to 6 hours. And they are faithful, smart, and are wonderful. I couldn't do it without them. We become accustomed to their donation of time. And they're so gracious to do it without pay. So that's really important. Especially for us, y'all know we're a nonprofit and we have to keep, just like, you know, everybody else is coming, I guess, as low as we can on overhead. So our ABC funding has been historically $10,100. And we asked this past year for money to build sort of a plexiglass wall around our upstairs circulation desk, which is kind of like what you guys have here. And we found plexiglass was much less expensive when I looked it up last year, maybe asked, than it was when I went to buy it. So we shifted to acrylic, which will see through, serves the same purpose, creates a semi-private space for our volunteers to work, or people from the community who need a spot to work and not have interaction with others, but can still see what's going on. We did get our cube built in Gregory Peck room. It's a 2-person cube station. What our goal was to have a place for a parent and a child to work side by side. The mom works on our ARPA computer that Alabama Public Library gave us. The child on a refurbished Dell that I bought with ABC money. And I've already loaded the games on that, their children educational games. So we've made a call to APLS. That's where we get our IT support. And it usually takes them a couple of months because everybody in the state calls it the same, like 5 guys. But they are coming to network those into our full system. And that project should be completely done by September 30th. That's my goal. We did, let's see what else we do. Things like that. We got the computer. I was looking over. Oh, CamillaNet. You guys helped us fund CamillaNet, which is really cool. So that is ebooks online digital library for the state of Alabama. And there's a copy of my CamillaNet invoice in your folder for this coming year. So CamillaNet is a $3,000 bill for us. And it's based on the population. I did reach out to them about a month ago to see if we had surpassed the place because where people are leaving the county. But we haven't dropped low enough to go to a lesser tier. So we're at 3,000. 2,000 is what we use to buy books through the state consortium, and 1,000 is sort of a networking maintenance fee that we're assessed no matter what. We're asking this year for ABC money to help us pay the 2,000, which is the book. The maintenance money will pull from different source. Additionally, we are asking for, and there's an invoice in your packet and pictures, what's called an after mouse of the vendor. It's a touch table. So the whole bill for that is going to be around $7,000 to set that up. That would include the table, additional plugs and wires to reach to plug it in, and 4 little stools. I set aside 400 for little stools. They are around $90 each for the leather, which is what we need to get in order to be able to keep them sanitized. So basically what a touch table is back in the day, remember we had Pac-Man, it was like on a table, like you go to pizza place and eat from that and you play a little game. So it's kind of the same thing minus the pizza, minus the Pac-Man. It's going to have games like tic-tac-toe. It's going to have math quiz games that like you count the trucks and get the total. Shape games for younger children, color painting games for younger children, Sudoku for our seniors. You just are waiting. I think it's going to be a real addition to not only the library, but to the county, because I haven't seen anything else like it anywhere that is free to the public. I did want y'all to know that we've been working on our children's area since 2021. We have new fresh murals on the wall. I've been raising money for, what I expect this to be an actual plexiglass wall, which will separate the children's area from the computer bank. So that the little guys can make as much noise as they want, turn their television up, watch their movies, visit with their friends, and not disturb people who are at our open computer bank. We have raised $4,000 for that improvement. It's also going to include a person counter, a Wi-Fi person counter, to be able to keep track of how many people are using our kids area is growing. We have people who come in now with their grands and stay for like an hour. So I'm very appreciative to the grown-ups for bringing the children, because they're teaching them a love and affinity for the library. But that's a huge responsibility for us. We've got to continue to provide things that are interesting to the little guys, which is what I think this table will do. So the invoice for that is in there. I was able, forgive me, I have a medicine, but I was able to get the vendor to lower the price on the table. I explained in my email that we are a rural library in Southwest Alabama, that our population is spread out, that we, our median income is around 35,000, that we do as far as we can with what we have, that our donors are typically local. And if there was any way you could help us reduce the cost, which would have been around $7,700. So for what he could actually show on paper, he's showing a $600 decrease in the amount of the game sheet. So, I always ask for a decrease in whatever retail is. Most of the time, the vendor will work with us because we are a library, because we do run on donated money. In fact, this summer, one of our summer reading books, I reached out to the author direct. He not only autographed 50 books and sent them to the library, he only charges for 25. Those books were $15. So again, I want y'all to know that I'm doing as much as I know to do to keep our costs down, to make the dollars that you guys give us go far. So in a nutshell, I'm asking for the $30,000 that we normally get for administrative personnel, utilities, that overhead, and $10,100. Which will go toward helping us complete our children's area upgrade. The partner with the other $4,000 that I have will go to the little activity table that we want to get. Let's see, there was, let me find my note. I want to make sure I get it all. The 400 for the little schools, 115 for courts and miscellaneous. I put that at 7. We're going to put 1,000 toward the whole upgrade to go with the other 4, and 2,100 to go back toward Millinet, our online digital library. Just like this year, 2,000 of that, and there's $100 you guys allow us to put back in our administrative costs, and that's what we do. So that's kind of a outline of it all. If you haven't been to the library, I encourage you to come. We have an art class going on right this minute. And there's about, when I left, there were, I believe I counted 12 children at the library on Thursday. So I call that a success. Yeah, you guys have any questions for me? Anything you think we need to add?
I believe you didn't need a set of the encyclopedia.
I have 5.
And shiny crack.
I have 5 that do like a video.
That's right.
I know, and I appreciate it, but, I'm running out of encyclopedia storage. But if you haven't been, if you haven't been, please come. If you have grants, please bring them. Introduce them to the library. Typically, I have a gift for the kids that come in. It may be a coloring book. It may be, a book that I have left over from a different project. We will be at the rodeo. We have the library at the rodeo, where we're going to be gifting children small boxes of crayons, color sheets, and I have a face painter scheduled to come to do their little face painting. So if you come to the rodeo, and I hope you will, please come by our tent with your small people or yourself. We'll be happy to paint your face as well.
All right.
All good. Anything else y'all need from me? If you have a suggestion, please email me. I'm all about new things. Thanks for letting me come.
Ready for somebody?
Starting, next night.
We're running over the head of speed.
Okay, so you ready for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got moral support with you here.
Do what?
Got moral support with you.
Did bring somebody just for, because I'm not quite as fresh as I normally am. We decorated for the fiesta for tomorrow night, so I'm worn out. It's hot out there. And I know y'all know
And
that.
it is not hot in here.
Feels
Some
good in here.
many people have brought jackets. And I was doing that.
Do y'all want me to turn it up a little bit? Keep it like this? Okay. I'm fine.
Well, I wrote y'all a note or whatever to document sort of what we received $5,000 last year from the city for the Monroeville Foundation, which we use to support education and health and also the hospital, of course. But it's not just the hospital. We do more than just that. We were able to give out away $9,000 in scholarships this year for college students that that are majoring in like health-based degrees. And we so had 6 different students that got $1,500. We had med student, we had nurses, nurse practitioner, had a physical therapy student. So we have hopefully some potential individuals that will come back and serve in our county. So we hope it's an investment. Some of them had, we also had a pharmacy student. So who knows? I feel like some of them will end up back here, but there's no guarantee, but hopefully it was a good investment on our part for that. As far as we had said that we would put funds that we received last year towards construction for the emergency room. They were still finishing up some things they didn't have quite finished, but they ended up with a little surplus on their loan, so we did not have to actually do construction, contribute to that, which we thought we would. They still want to do some signage, and it's possible that we may have to contribute to that, but they haven't given us the invoice on that. But we did purchase or have agreed to purchase a wide scope for the ER for intubation to help with that. That's a $20,000 piece of equipment that they requested. This year, they are asking us for a steamer for the hospital kitchen. The steamer is critical for them to produce mass amounts of food for the cafeteria and for the patients that are in the hospital. And that's about a $30,000 purchase. So whatever y'all can, give us towards that would be a great deal. Other than that, we do 3 different fundraisers typically throughout the year, plus we sell t-shirts that are, we sell t-shirts at Christmas time. We sell t-shirts at the hospital for the employees to wear. They can wear those with their scrubs. So that's one of our fundraisers. We also have a fiesta tomorrow night, and if y'all that want to come, you're welcome to come and purchase a ticket for $35 and come and have Mexican food and music and enjoy yourself at the Family Fair Golf Club tomorrow night. And then we have golf tournament September 16th that you're welcome to join us for that. And then we'll have our benefit, which will be December 1st, and we'll be advertising that actually in August. So we'll send out save the dates for that. So those are our big fundraisers for the year.
Hospital already had their wish list.
I know, they came in here, somebody had reprimanded me earlier this year and said that I didn't ask for enough from y'all. And I said, because the hospital also asked, so we're double, asking, so I try to be thoughtful about that and mindful, so.
They didn't overlap with one thing. They were talking about.
Yeah, so that's a big one. It's more expensive than you can imagine, really. I mean, but again, we've agreed to help them all. So, but that was supposed to occur when they did the construction for the hospital, I don't know if any of y'all have walked around the hospital, even if you're familiar with the hospital, it's gonna be the same. It's a little bit like a maze, and if you're not feeling well, that's not the time to find out that you don't know where you're at in the hospital, so. But the signs would help, I think. So even if you knew where you were 3 years ago, you wouldn't know where you were for the most part now. It's changed, so. I even worked there in the hospital at one time, so I get a little turned around. So it would be a good investment for the. But it's not as easy as it sounds. You really have to put a lot of thought into it. So. Any other questions?
How much is your request again?
Well, they have requested, we purchased something for 30,000. We did not give us, we don't typically give a specific amount when we request. Well, like I said, they've asked for this and we haven't, at this point, we haven't asked for funds for anybody else to help us purchase this. So we can ask you for 30,000. Obviously, you know, you'll give us whatever you want. It's $30,359.
$359.
But, you know, whatever you can contribute to that would be appreciated.
What's the best distinction?
It's
Steamer.
an industrial steamer, and it has a water filter attached to it. $359 is the estimate that they have. Here's the way to put that. The steamer. Do you need anything else?
This is
Anything else? I appreciate that, you know, that you're doing for the community. Thank you.
well,
No, it's pretty good.
well, yeah, I got a break because I don't see the other person here yet. They don't. You waiting on veterans of foreign wars, the museum, and the animal shelter. I just asked that. He said, who knows?
Sam, how you doing over there? You cold?
I don't know. He didn't give me his email address. I just want the website. So hopefully he got it. I don't know a number though to contact me. Want me? Y'all want me to turn it up some? Okay. Cause I'm fine. Yeah.
Hey, I'll be on this side, but both ways. I thought it was in your street. Yeah, you can't tell. Thank you. Are you the one trying to go on?
I feel great.
Oh, right.
I'm in pain, but I feel great.
Need to bring me a pillow for this chair. I was gonna say, you laid back pretty far.
All right.
Museum,
Well, you just, all right, so just a second. I was trying to get the number for VFW. Cause he didn't leave a number in email.
Somebody stopped me in the room saying that we were doing off on putting everything in and take all the stuff out of it. But if we didn't have meat on it, well, we turn everything back.
Yeah, that's probably where it started when you get everything filed.
Yeah. Like I said about being fair, you everything but Lord prayer, monkey bread.
Somebody said, told me, said,
Who gonna be your assistant? That's what-
we don't tell you that.
But that was the person came.
Watching through that. Ain't no good.
I'm gonna tell you what, brother-in-law, the whole situation, no matter where it's at. They come in and start blowing that stuff about containers and all that stuff. And they told me, okay, y'all come get this stuff. No, y'all can't. That is proof. They had about the same situation we did. They come in there and start getting sending them rules and all that thing about what code and paint stickers and everything like that. And they told them, come get it. Y'all take it. You had to tell me within certain amount of paint, certain kind of details. Just like that.
You know, they take all that stuff, you know, move the house. In case they really got a bad news and water,
I don't think they're gonna fly that plane. No, that tank may go somewhere, but that plane ain't going.
they got it. And, you know, so anyway. This wasn't doing.
It is. Everything you're doing. But I mean, is anybody now? That's why I thought we were good to hear. Anyway, this is it. They were trying to help us.
We had a clear budget, I think it was 8,000. Yeah, I think she came back and gave us some.
I never be able
Well, just let him know.
the dog got room. One day. Come in one morning, two of them, flower beds, just digging dirt out. And I looked at, they brought back to you, it was Friday at 8 o'clock, I was out there. Sitting over there, he came, we pulled up, parked the big hill, talked out, he ran there. It When raised this, you know, fire box, I got 4x6. Hey, that does that part, there's no two, does two with all two. 26.
They said he's.
Went out there and I should point leadership to it. Yeah, shooting. I can't find it. Yeah, that's lit. You get there in the same area regularly, taking the boards, taking them on the ground, taking the ground, your crap on the head. And they'll go in, they'll fall in.
No.
They do it in the same area. Like the fly out there on the east half of the highway.
Appreciate your input.
Water goes down. Get there. That's what that always used to be. I had two in my yard.
Did you know a number for him?
Sorry.
Did you know a number for him?
Yes.
Did you know a number for him?
I know, the first one I ever saw, I was young and I was opening up. Get here, something here.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see them. Some road sign, I think I was working. Awesome. Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
One walk way up one day. But I find it right outside the bedroom when I'm breaking into my. And all I could get my hand on was shove. And that's fine. And you know, and then they put a team. You should have been back.
Yeah.
And go out with the child. There, child, there, guys. Now they're. She just didn't even, they turn around, and look at it, and I got it.
They usually are here, which was making me think, I don't think I can let her or not. But I wish they would tell me if they got with her or not, because it would. Yeah. Mhm.
Out there, next morning, he was out there. I had to keep the shotgun out there. One shot, nobody knows where it's coming from. You shoot a couple times.
So I wonder, let's see. Where can we?
Do something. They got something to do, they do. They have all the way there.
Still on. 2,500.
Mhm.
They had.
Invoice.
You see the motel they got out there?
I know, they don't usually have to send me invoices, we have different amounts that we cover.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm. And I sent them out what month it is coming. Mhm. So if they don't come, I will call them tomorrow. And if they submit a request, I'll just send it out to y'all to let you know.
It could form, I understand. You got it.
Mm.
Yeah, never leave.
Yeah, they. I don't know what's wrong. And they had, it was dogging it too good.
The museum, yeah.
I think it's the dog situation. Yeah, you go ahead and I think we got ourselves in this about 3 weeks, let's think about it. All right, so jump the most now, we're gonna start this. Get a little food over on it.
All right, well, I guess you don't, because they're not picking up. I was calling the museum. I was calling. Mhm. Check that out. Check that out. If they don't show up, I'll reach out to them tomorrow and see what they wanted to request, because I don't know if the letter made it to them. It would help if they would let me know, but I tried calling them, and no answer. I tried calling the museum too. Miss Gail. Yeah, I was trying to get one of them to come on. I want to go prop my feet up, so.
That's a question on the, see, 7,500. Yeah.
Just.
And it's in the general fund. Like the library had the 30,000 that was in the general fund. And then she has 10,100 in the ABC.
I take a girl. And they were the first ones in my career, they were doing it for that. I don't see how they could. Yes. I think it's great. One thing, sir, is you get catfish. You got something.
We're trying.
Yes.
Trish just texted me, so she's leaving except that.
Okay.
This one.
Animal shelter, right? Okay.
It must be, when you last. When this is, oh, no, that just.
Spicy. Yeah, they're cheap. And also,
Just don't you see my bugs everywhere? I'll tell him. There was another one. I don't know if you saw me, I was trying to kill him. Yes, I pressed this up against the little thing, I thought I smashed it. But I was like, what up, nigga? I thought that was bad. When you sitting up there on the ceiling. It's not moving. It could be, it could not be. Yeah. Where's the restroom?
Yeah, we got it in there right at. My daughter. Yeah. There ain't tourist traffic. And so. Yeah. All around 7 times, I'm there and never did. I voted to return.
I just went in there to the museum, they requested the same thing as you guys.
What about the, They don't need to request them to give that. There's not else to do that, they request.
I assume they requested.
So they took the fence down, put the irrigation system. They should meet much. But Eddie will figure out something there. He'll give us a speech to go along with. Okay, you're next. I'm making a motion to adjourn this meeting in Roman City Council. That's what. Larry, for the second motion. I'll say.
Last year they requested 10.5 and so forth. They spent $7,875.
Yeah, they had a bunch of stuff to do after they did the bush. The air conditioning system, but I don't have much else. I don't know much else there to do that. What about that? Somebody's gonna move that. Move that piece off. You mailman that? Yeah. I was around there that company that night when that all happened. They were all like that. What they do? What do you think about that? So that baby road now, all that stuff.
I can tell you, this, from the point where she, called to the point where she got on that phone, they did some type of way, that's like $600.
Yeah.
Ain't no way, no baby, will be able to go to that point, that's 6 foot tall. Yeah, he can't.
Without, in the road, it's all, you know. And then I could tell, it's getting hard to stand it somewhere.
Well, I know the chief of the nigga Thursday, and hopefully they gonna do it. So, you know, nothing else, they may not come back and say she's mine, they will say it's on time. Yeah.
Even back and saw where she was in on the, I guess on the internet, look it up.
Anyway, see, bus ticket.
But where she went? Where did she go? Where did the girl go? Do they know? Do they know where she went?
What?
They know she went to Target, she bought up some snacks.
She went, why didn't walk back to her house?
Yeah, she was a country girl, she was back in South.
Got national attention out of it, I'll tell you that. And, parent was mother was facial or something, that was later, and all the time. Yeah. One for five family, one for privacy. National TV. They come find out, so they, on those, paper. Which the family may not knew anything better at the time.
Are you watching?
Because you're going to see the grandbaby. Yeah,
You mad now? Yeah.
Come back and say, yeah, somebody else.
I get the luxury of spending Friday tomorrow.
Somebody- Yeah, it was a photo from the trucker.
You know, she can talk back to you just a little bit.
Darkness, they stop. That's the only thing she said, dad, and stop.
Yeah.
She like, I got that much down. Don't worry.
Trish,
Yeah, you know.
Well, Helen,
Go ahead.
that you can play with her.
No problem.
you're on, you're on the show. Lights in.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what to say.
What do you request? Same as last year or increase at what?
Increase if possible for our payroll, help cover it.
Any special projects you got?
Yeah, on the very last page, it shows the, our, next to the last page, there's the electrical problem that we're having. We had somebody come in and check it out and estimate around 5,000 to get the electrical done. We keep coming in for the snow, snow, or not snow, but something hot. So we're not sure what it is.
I thought it was microwave, but we was unplugged it, that didn't plug, it still come into that. On the last page shows the, one of the ladies, we're doing the TNR to help fix the community cats, particularly was one of my main ones. I think I fixed around close to 55 cats up there. One of the ladies got bit by it. Of course, she made $7.25 an hour, and that's just one of the bills, one of the big bills that she's got. $19,000 for the family on the street.
Wow.
So I included it.
You throw that one in there.
Yeah, just to show like,
Show what
that's
happened.
what we deal with up there.
Mm. Mm. The question of last year was 40. Yeah, and the way it
No, that was,
No, we increased it to 45 though.
when it.
We increased it
Yeah.
last year to 45, yeah.
that injury was covered.
It was not.
Really?
And,
It's all advanced.
well, we should be 80 by the time she gets it paid.
Give them the 5, see what you're after.
Yes, sir.
We'll see, everybody's want to increase this year.
Let's see, ground hazard shelter last year. We already talked about, you know, when you got, them moved up with 8.
Yeah, the other was 8 in ABC.
Yeah, not the Navy Sea, but we did that.
Now, we're,
Fencing or whatever.
yes, sir, Kennel.
Yeah, you know.
Now, we still get the $3,333 every month.
That's your 45. It's yeah.
If,
See, like, that 8 was when we paid for the fence and
Yeah.
all that stuff, so.
so,
Are you asking for the 5 out of that 8?
Yes, sir.
okay, so it helps.
You're basically level funded out of ABC.
Yes, sir.
We got a better increase of 5 from what we gave last year on already moved. That's right.
Mhm.
Yes, that,
So only 3,000 in her ABC? Is that what y'all saying?
yeah, the 5, yeah,
8,000 back in ABC and 45 back in.
that's probably the route, be easier for us to go. To do 8 in ABC and do 45 on that, like we did. Let's look at that.
No matter who owns the money.
All money. Let's look at it that way. But. Well, a little bit less than that, but that. Yeah. We got really rolling around.
We got
Okay.
money rolling around.
Huh?
I said we got money rolling around.
Yeah, I know what's in there. I see all the numbers. We roll around here, I don't think there's gonna be anything left there to roll around. The ABC is probably more likely to, the 8 with no problem. That's it, she got some other way. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Michelle. Good.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Well, thank y'all so much for the opportunity, and we've requested the same funding you all have given us for the museum for our in-house, all of the products we use. We do a lot of all in-house printing that we can. And it goes a long way, and I've included in the your packet where you'll see. what
Y'all
we
have it.
spent.
I passed it out to
Okay,
you.
that was.
Mhm.
What we put the money.
No,
in.
not the red folder. It was the one that has her, yeah. It looks like this.
And I want y'all to see,
have to aware that of all the things that happen on the square, the markets and the things that the chamber does, all of those things, we welcome because it's it's the county's property. But, it's our bathrooms that have to be open every time there's an event up there. And so we're responsible for being sure they're clean and then all the products that need to be included, you know, for those events. So that adds up in a hurry, but that's all in the request. And, the other part of our request was for the literary festival. And, this will be our, this in 2024 will be our third year to do it. And we've got a good lineup started and we've got people already calling, wanting to come. And, not really, I mean, of course, we need the money. Absolutely, we need the money, but we also need for you all to realize how important this is for Monroe. It's a big deal. And, our biggest donor is very generous. And she has a real, love for Monroeville and Monroe County, and that is, Ann Bedso. And her foundation gives us a real good, firm start. And she's passionate about it, and she wants to see this stay in Monroeville and grow. I mean, her vision is that it's going to be a huge statewide event, and she has lots of state contacts, and she works on that a lot. So, y'all please consider that. Again, you've been generous for us for the past 2 years, but also consider coming. Mayor Andrews comes and does a welcome, and of course, Al's on the museum board and he plays a big part, and we'd like for all of y'all to come and just meet people. We have people for all over, and they come and they stay 2 nights. We fill up, the lofts have already started getting reservations, and we fill up the Best Western and the Mockingbird Inn, and that you know translates into a lot of gas and restaurants, and I don't have all the figures. I've asked for them, but and you know they just haven't had time to get it all together. But just from the restaurant, what they saw is the difference, and the Hunter's Run said it's tremendous. And Miss Teresa said she saw lots, but I don't have numbers. They just said it was good. So I just, you know, ask y'all to please thank you for your support in the past, and we love it again this year. And please consider when it comes around, just come walk around and meet some of the people, because it's a lot. It's interesting, and it's great for Monroe.
Waves, stuff working out a little better, so, you know, they kind of reorganized things several years ago, number of performances and all that working out.
And you say, you know, we don't have, the museum doesn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
All we do is provide the venue.
Okay.
But everything,
Sales wise and gift shop and stuff.
oh yeah, that's good.
Good.
That works out really well. And yesterday we had 29 visitors. Just random, just from all over the place. So we are a big attraction, and we need to keep it going.
You'll get the tour buses come in.
September is, every Saturday is full, and I think the latter part of August is.
I was on different occasions, the tour buses come in, I had opportunity to come in and, welcome.
Where's New Orleans
about
It generates in New Orleans, but they are predominantly from England,
Okay,
the people.
okay.
It's a British group that comes, but the bus comes from New Orleans.
Okay.
New Orleans, when it comes to, is there on the mayor that well? You gonna try to keep that up? You gonna start charging for the time, turn up that stuff going overtime? I had thought about it. Now that you mentioned it. You have any other questions?
Sure, Charles. Thank you.
Well, thank y'all for all you do for our town. Appreciate your time and for your consideration.
Thank you, man.
Stay cool.
Yeah, that's one thing, that's the last one.
I don't think they coming.
Huh?
I don't think they coming.
Couldn't hear it.
I'm behave.
You
I know it would be.
Yeah.
I don't know what he-